Hello, everybody. Welcome on back to baseball here on youtube.com/Rex. I'm going to hope that holds, because I always forget that it's not just as simple as putting youtube.com/Rex into the freaking thing. We have 4 games of baseball for you today, as we always do, and I have my notepad up and ready to roll. White Sox Braves. That's where we're starting. That is what we're starting with. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was Rays yesterday. We had the Braves on. Everything's melting together. Doesn't matter. We have the White Sox taking on the Braves, the Yankees taking on the Brewers, Reds taking on the Angels, and the Mariners, goodness gracious, taking on the Cardinals. I've been talking a lot, so it's only going to be better for me that I talk more. Let's jump in to our first game of the day. We have 2 toward the top of the schedule and then 2 toward the bottom. Or I think we had 3 of the first 5 yesterday, and then it was like all the way down there. There we go. Tim Lincecum taking on Hiroki Kuroda. Kuroda? Perhaps. And while you do this, I'm going to get my own YouTube channel link. Because it's not, like I said, as simple. Because it needs like the HTTP and all this stuff. And we'll go streaming baseball. I have had this phone. I don't even know. I don't know how long I've had this phone. I still can't push the backspace button and not push just L repeatedly. It is the 8-12 White Sox taking on the 10-11 Atlanta Braves. As we are set for game number 1 of 4 here. Welcome on into day 24, April 24th of the 2011 MLB season. It's fantasy drafted. Pitchers have no stamina, and the games are only 3 innings. We're going to get you set up with the Chicago White Sox starting lineup. It's center fielder B.J. Upton, right fielder Maglio Ordonez, first baseman Albert Pujols, left fielder Terry Evans, third baseman Scott Rowland, catcher Yorvet Torrealba, designated hitter Bid Francisco, second baseman Sean spells his name correctly, Rodriguez, and shortstop Jed Lowry. It's the second stream that I've done today. Played a bunch of, what's it called? Demon School. And that was a lot of fun. I really like this to move just a little bit. Without breaking everything. We are in Atlanta. As we are introducing Hiroki Kuroda. 2-1 with a 4.61 ERA, 4 games, 13.2 innings pitched, 9.714. That strikeout number is great. 13.2 innings in 4 games in 3 inning game games is a lot. So he's been throwing the ball a lot, and he's been throwing it pretty well. B.J. Upton is going to get us started here. 5 stolen bases on 289 average. I think you want those numbers at the top of your lineup. You want to be able to get a guy who has a decent average. You want to be able to put him on base. Let him go. See what he can do today. As we get set for day 24. Give it up for day 24. Is that the SpongeBob? No. Day 23, I think it's the SpongeBob thing. Give it up for day 23. And he's ringing the bell, Mr. Krabs is. Here comes the 1-0. That is outside for a ball, 1-1. As we have a righty-righty matchup to set. Oh, you know what? I remember this pitcher now. Because his animation is so long between pitches. Okay. I was like, You see that and you're just like, oh, God. Come on, man. I wonder what the difference is in... Oh, we could time it. Here, we'll time it. From when the catcher throws the ball back, or maybe when he receives the ball. We'll see how long it takes. And then we can do stopwatch. We could do the White Sox pitcher. That was a bad one. Reset. Such a long animation. Nobody else does it. How excited were people? So let here. We'll time it from when he gets the ball into his glove. Big swing and a miss. Okay. It's close. It's not perfect, but hopefully it's negligible at best. It's about an 18-second animation from when he gets the ball and then gets ready to start throwing it. That is brutal. It's probably a little bit less than that because I'm sure the other pitchers are fine, but you would still get, you'd have a base number and then that would, whatever. Maglio Ordonez, 3 home runs on the season, 8 RBI. Not the best average. But if you take 18 seconds and you multiply it by the fact that that was at least 6 pitches, the Braves are not playing for the rest of the season. You know what I can do is I can look at the probables and make sure that we don't have to see this, but this is bad. It reminds me of when we did random rosters in ESPN NFL. That's a strike somehow. ESPN NFL Prime Time. And the game was just bad. And like it just wasn't a fun watch. But I've suffered through 20 weeks of that. Pitcher winds and fires. That'll be crushed. But foul out to the left field side, or third base side. At least if they get contact. He doesn't do the animation. Righty winds, readies and fires. That one's foul up the opposite side. Hodgeford. Hopefully you enjoyed yesterday's mini-seasons video. We'll be back with a couple of days of this, and then we'll have mini-season. We might have a bit of a funky schedule on for this week, just based on the holiday and doing some other stuff. So you might get mini-seasons on Wednesday and Friday, and then a stream on Saturday. I think that's probably what's going to work. Otherwise, it's going to be a very late stream on Friday night. I don't know that that's the smartest idea in the world for me. Thursday might be late as well. That is called strike 3 on the inside quarter. Ordonez down on strikes. Long at-bats for both of these Chicago White Sox hitters, and that low inside quarter to right-handed pitchers, or right-handed hitters, excuse me, already kind of like a, I don't know about that. We've seen 2 of them. One of them being a strikeout. Albert Pujols stepping in. Pitcher shakes the catcher off. Pujols takes the ball up high. They're probably so excited. They're like, look, we have the individual animations in for certain pitchers. This was the guy that they used as an example. It's like, oh my God. That's a horrible call. That's outside for a ball. Righty. Winds, fires. 2-0 pitch is low to Pujols, so 3-0. That ad on the left makes me think of Modern Warfare 2. Shout out to that game. The original Modern Warfare 2, not the new Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 1, not Modern Warfare 2 number 2. Here comes the 3-0. That's going to hit him. Why would you hit him with a 3-0 count? Oh my goodness. That does put Pujols on, and there is 2 gone. Or there are 2 gone. Terry Evans has a 333 average. Zeros across the board, though. Home runs, stolen bases, RBIs, that sort of thing. That is a broken bat that's flared foul. Bat could have very easily hit Pujols. That bat was launched out toward the infield. Righty fires. That's inside for a ball. Oh, he has a different animation. Okay, so we need Chicago to have runners on. One and one. Foul up the third base side. That one's outside for a ball. But I hope everybody had a good Sunday before heading back to the work week. Hopefully you have a short work week this week with the holiday. Was not always the case for me as far as... Oop, that ball's going to get away as the runner takes second. Working in a service industry could be kind of... Yeah, working in a service industry and then working in... working at... what's it called? The warehouse job I had with Black Friday, as we see a swing and a miss for strike number 3, so the White Sox set down. One hit batter. They strand a runner on second as he was able to advance on the wild pitch. And Atlanta will come up with Elvis on Andrews leading things off. Howie Kendrick at second. Josh Hamilton in left. Andrew Jones in center. Matt Joyce in right. A.J. Przinsky catcher. Ross Glode at the designated hitter. Mark Tehan. We just had him, and I can't remember, third baseman. And then Gabby Sanchez over at first. But yeah, when I worked at the warehouse, it was Black Friday, so that was the overtime chunk was between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it was 6 day weeks for 4 weeks or so. Tim Lincecum is leading, or going to be the starting pitcher at 2.92 ERA, a 1-2 record, 4 games, 12.1 innings pitched, 8-4, 13 on the strikeout side. So you have a couple of guys who are throwing a lot of strikeouts going against each other today. So we have the number, for those of you who are curious, 1828. And we'll see how long it takes for Lincecum to get to... basically that set position. That's the movement that we're looking for. So, swung on, missed. It's like a 10-second difference. I hit stop on accident. I don't know if it's an exact science, but it's about 10 seconds. So you're talking about 10 seconds every single pitch that the Atlanta Braves pitcher is adding into this. That's ridiculous. Thought about swinging, but didn't. Because we look at Lincecum here. He walks back. Then resets. That's wild. You're talking about an extra minute for that one, for the leadoff at bat. This one is hit out to left. Left fielder has it and puts it away. Out number 1. Whatever I did there, I did not need to hit the reset button on the PlayStation 2. I would have actually swapped the games out. Nope, we're doing a different one. Howie Kendrick, 206 average, has a home run, 5 RBI on the season. Lincecum fires a strike in. And Lincecum gets a swing and a miss as he goes below the zone, 0-2. Quickly to this Atlanta Braves batter. The Atlanta Braves batter. Swung on and missed, and he is set down. Kendrick is set down on strikes. That one just up in the zone. 3 inches of break there. 95 miles an hour on the running fastball. We have not seen that specific pitch. I don't think that even really exists in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a leftover that got cut for the PS3 version of the game. Would a running fastball then be a 2-seam? Either way, out on strikes. And we will head to the next batter. So 2 away now for Atlanta. Takes a look at ball 1. Lincecum winds and fires. Outside, ball 2. Fouled away for strike number 1. That is hit well, but foul. Oof. It had the distance, just did not have the timing on it. 2-2. That one is foul up the first base line again. Getting some good distance on these Lincecum pitches, but can't get the timing right to keep it fair. Here comes the 2-2. It is swung on and missed, so Lincecum with a couple of strikeouts in that inning, and that will do it. Roland, Torrealba, Francisco coming up for the White Sox in the top of the second. Roland, .320 average, 3 home runs, 8 RBI. That pitch stays outside, or slides outside. Ball 1. Nods his head and readies. That pitch misses low. The worst part is if I miss the count, which I did, because the thing only briefly flashes up in the top right corner, like bop, and then goes away pretty quickly. If I miss that, I have to wait a very long time to get the count correct. I could be paying attention in the first place. 2-0. That's always an option. Here comes the 2-0. That is in for a strike to make it 2-1. Patient at bat here to start the top of the second inning. Which I'd imagine you'd want to do. He has 14 strikeouts, or had 14 strikeouts coming into this game. Only 7 walks. He's given up some pitches to hit because he does have, I think it was 9 hits was the number given up so far. So he'll give you something maybe. The White Sox slowing it down nicely. That slid outside. That's ball number 3. 3-1? Yes, 3-1. This is the batter's favorite count. That one is lined foul. That one misses low, so that is a walk. Now this will help us a little bit because he won't have that same full animation. 263 average for Torrealba. He does have a home run on the season, and he's knocked across 4. Maybe it's one good swing. Maybe it's one grand salami. I guess that would be more the thing to time. That one is hit. A beautifully executed hit and run. The right fielder, they are going to hold at third. The right fielder, just the most lackadaisical run that I have seen. He waltzed over to there like there was nothing that could have happened. I'm surprised Chicago was not a little more aggressive and tried to send him home. Ben Francisco, 1-2-3. Home run, RBI, stolen base. That one is rolled over. He'll fire over to second. Back to first. He's going to be late. He is safe. That will score a run. Sean spells his name correctly. Rodriguez next up for the White Sox. So it is a fielder's choice. He does avoid the double play, which is huge. And of course, as soon as I'm like, I'll pull up the stopwatch and see what the difference is, Chicago is putting it in play. It's 10 seconds. It's 10 seconds less animation. I did it until the thing popped up in the right hand corner. That is going to be a single out to center field. I guess it's fairest to just compare him to him. Jed Lowry. We're going to stop worrying about it, though. Chicago with a runner in scoring position. Double play still an option for this Atlanta Braves defense if they can get a hold of the ball and execute it, which is not a given in this game. This game really likes the bobbled animation. That right-hand batter's box edge of the zone continues to be a little bit wide. That's a called strike. I think a good take by the White Sox batter. I don't think that was actually a strike. That one missed low. The righty nods, readies, and fires. That is going to be popped to the first baseman. Infield fly rule in effect. B.J. Upton, 0 for 1. He'll step in. Runner in scoring position. I guess 2 on, 2 out is a better way to say that. More accurate way to say that, perhaps. That'll be rolled over to the third baseman. He bobbles it. Is Upton, does he have enough speed? He does! Safe at first. It's like I spoke it into existence. Third baseman bobbles it. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Typically it's the shortstop and the second baseman that are bobbling it, but third baseman usually good for an overthrow. So the bags are packed here with 2 outs. That is going to be scooped by the shortstop. It's out. Out by about 4 steps. So the White Sox threaten. They pick up a couple of hits. And Atlanta charged with an error. They get a run on a fielder's choice. Jones, Joyce, and Przinsky coming up here in the bottom half of the second. Andrew Jones leading off the home half of the second inning for you. That's inside for a ball. That's outside for a ball. 2-0. Lincecum working with a 1-0 lead. Readies and fires. That's in for a strike. Nice pitch. Not the best location, but takes advantage of a passive batter in a 2-0 count. That is hit well, but foul. That's been kind of the story here for Atlanta so far. They've gotten some good swings on the ball. The timing's just been off. Lincecum's going to need to be careful. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Right fielder coming in. A little surprised the first baseman didn't go for it. He's leaning at the wall. He grabs it over the side, and that is an out. Wow. Nice snag over the wall. That'll bring in Matt Joyce. A .316 average, 1 RBI on the season. And 1 away. That pitch misses low. Here comes the 1-0 from Lincecum. That's in for a strike on that outside edge. That part of the zone's been generous today. That wasn't exactly a bad one, but if you're gonna try and get a call, you're gonna want that on the outside. That sails high for ball 2, 2-1. And that one is hit well, but foul. And that pitch misses low. That one's rolled over to the second baseman. Fires over to first cleanly for an out. And that is 2 away. Lincecum doing a very nice job pitching here. The Braves have been able to put some swings on it, but they can't keep the good swings fair, and then the bad swings stay fair, and it's been relatively easy for this White Sox defense. So 2 gone. And he'll take a strike. That looked like a pretty good pitch. Pretty hittable. Rolls over that one, foul. Maybe flip those swings a little bit. See if he can put him away here. No. Gets enough to stay alive. Here comes the 0-2. Rolled up the first baseline, foul. Lincecum looking for that put-away pitch. He's been using that curveball, but it's been a little dangerous at times. That pitch stays low. It's looked like it's just stayed up just a little too much. Pitch outside, gets the swing and the miss, and that will do it for the Braves. So a couple of pitchers throwing a lot of strikeouts before this game, and both those same pitchers are throwing a good chunk of strikeouts in this game. 1-0 Chicago. Pujols was hit by a pitch. He advanced to second on a passed ball. Wild pitch, passed ball. Did not come around to score. He got hit by a pitch on a 3-0, which was kind of wild. That's inside. Ball 1. Ready to fire the 1-0. Here it comes. Pujols takes that inside. 2-0. It's been a funky spot. It's been getting more strike calls out of that spot that he just went to than you would think. Or maybe the umpires cleaned up his act. Who knows? 2-0. Ooh, 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 ooh. Bet he wants that one back. Makes the count 2-1, but it looked pretty juicy to me. Of course, I do need to remember that we are a little off center, so maybe it wasn't. I mean, well, no, because if it looks good like that, it's got to look better, more lined up, right? Ooh, we went for that one, which stayed high and inside. Flies out to center field, and that puts Pujols away for out number 1. Terry Evans, 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. Thought about swinging. They'll appeal down to first. He did not go. We don't get a ton of those appeals down to first base. The righty throws his hands over his head, winds and fires, and that one is looped out to left field. There's a 1-out single for Chicago. Who has already had a little success against this pitcher. I'm sure would have liked to have had more, considering the fact that they had the bases loaded in the top half of the second. But they'll put a runner on with 1 away. Scott Rowland worked a walk and then was able to come around and score. Ooh, man. That is brutal. Went for the high swing. I've been there. You're looking for it to drop just a little bit. But he does a good job to throw that pitch high and keep it with good zip through the zone. It's the swing and the easy out. Runner on first with 2 outs. Patience from this White Sox batter. Lets that one go for a ball. 1-0. That one's foul. Swung on and fouled away. Righty fires inside for a ball. Two and one. Ooh, it's off the end of the bat. It's going to get into left field. They will only work station to station. A little surprising, but I guess it makes sense. It wasn't the hardest hit ball in the world, but it did not get super deep into left field. Ben Francisco stepping in. Couple runners on, couple batters put away already. 1-0. Can't leave pitches in that spot very often. Gets lucky on that. It's a long strike. That one, that's a nice pitch. Right on the edge of the zone. That's the part of the zone that's been a little bit wide. He's been very happy to call strikes. The umpire has. I think that was a nice pitch regardless. 0-2. Goes with that high pitch yet again. It's looking good, and that high and tight fastball, I'm assuming, in that location has looked really good for him. That one stays low. It's in the dirt. Was it check swing? No appeal. Gets away, but the runner does not advance. They do not like advancing when the ball goes up the third base side. That pitch is away for a ball. Like, we've only seen like one attempt at an advance when the ball bounces to the third base side. 2-2. 2 on, 2 out here in the top of the third. That is hit. Second baseman, he scoops it clean, fires to first for the out, and that will do it. So the White Sox threaten yet again, but can't come up with anything. 4 hits, 1 run. The 1 run was on a sacrifice, or a fielder's choice. A walk was the run that came around to score. So they're doing... There was an error as well. I mean, I don't know. It's a funky win. It's a funky lead, I should say, for the White Sox in this one. Lincecum in for his third inning of work as he fires outside for a ball. Lincecum gets a swing and a foul, so 1-1. That one is rolled over to the first base side, stays fair, and that has been Atlanta's issue all day. Their best hits have sailed foul, and they can't get the weaker shots like that to get out as well. That one just stayed inside, past the first base bag, and it's a routine play for the first baseman as Lincecum fires ball inside. That misses low. Lincecum ready. Fires. That is going to be a base hit out into center field. So the tying run is aboard. Double play is in order for the White Sox. Not easy in this game, as we have already seen a couple of bobbles from the Atlanta Braves defense. One on, one out. Home half of inning number 3. Lincecum fires that one wide. That one at the knees for a strike. Don't know that the batter agreed with that. I thought the pitch was a little low, frankly, but Lincecum gets the call, and that makes it 1-1. It's a 1-run game here in the bottom half of the third. That stays outside. Good eye. Probably a pretty good eye on that strike as well, but now it's 2-1. Swung on and missed to even things up at 2-2. That one's outside for ball 3. So a dangerous position here for Lincecum. A full count, a runner on. Only one down. Puts the tying run in scoring position if he can't find the zone here. This one will be flared out to left. Left fielder with a good read on it. Fires back in as the runner retreats to first. Elvis Andrews steps in 0 for 1. He would be your game-winning run if he can punch this out of the stadium. Lincecum winds and fires inside, dangerously close to hitting him. It's not where you want to miss. The 1-0 pitch is rolled over to the third base side. Fires over to first for out number 3, and that will do it. Chicago gets the one run they need, and Lincecum is able to shut the door in the third despite giving up a hit. The one-out hit. And we survive a game where the pitcher took 18 seconds between pitches at least. It was brutal. Brutal. But Tim Lincecum's your player of the game. 3 innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. His 2011 stats are what I was reading. Whoopsie daisy. He improves to 2-2. Kuroda falls to 2-2. No home runs. The 1 run in the top of the second, the only run scored. And that'll do it from Atlanta. The Braves have as many hits as they have errors. Gross. And we will move on to our second game of the day. Change the thumbnail to you. We're heading to... Well, actually, we'll get a couple of scores locked in here. Yep, bopped my thing on it. The Pirates. They beat the Rays 2-0 to improve to 11-9. Tigers, they win against the Dodgers 1-0, and then we had the 1-0 game right there. We are going to slide down just a little bit to watch the Yankees take on the Brewers, as we're seeing quite a number of shutouts already today. Rankings, runs batted in. Hey, the Yankees number 1 at 55. Tampa Bay all the way down at 21 for 30th. And I always think the Mets are kind of an interesting case because they had such a bad start. They're tied for 15th with the Cubs and the Mets, or with the Mariners, 36. SF in 11th with 39. Well, welcome to Miller Park. The Yankees 12-7 taking on the Milwaukee Brewers 8-11. We have interleague baseball, which is exciting. I keep talking about hopefully once we get out of this April, there's a lot more like the crossover matchups and a lot less of the divisional stuff, which if the divisional stuff was spread out a little bit more, that'd be nice. But it was just like, here's the third Yankees-Red Sox game that we've had in like a week. Yeesh. Oh. Here's your starting lineup for the New York Yankees. Brandon Phillips at second. Marlon Byrd in center. Prince Fielder at first. Hank Blaylock, the designated hitter. Jason Bay in left field. Miguel Tejada, the shortstop. Cody Ross in right. Casey Blake at third. And Giovanni Soto behind the dish. Kind of wish I could hit X and get the pitcher stats, but that's not how this game works. Doesn't work like that. I'll think of a third way to tell you about how this game doesn't work. Jake Westbrook, 1-2 with a 9.39 ERA, 3 games with 7.2 innings pitched, 16 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. That is a brutal line. That ERA is alarming, but when you see that it's 16 hits, 3 walks, that's 19 extra players on base, to just 5 strikeouts. And you're talking about the number 1 team in runs batted in, so this has a recipe for disaster. See if he can avoid that. Here's the opening pitch, and it is a hit. Oh my God. Oh no. That is going to get all the way to the base of the wall before it's finally flagged down. And that'll bring in Marlon Byrd, 378, and has a 5-game hitting streak. Love that popped in late. Give us a little info on Byrd here. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 double. And Byrd, he will take a swing at it. Be interesting to see if this game would change how aggressive or not the Yankees are. If the computer looks at some of the stats and statistics on the back end or whatever, and they go, hey, we're facing a pitcher who has a 9.39 ERA. Does the game tinker with that a little bit? Or does it just have the same, like, it's going to swing 72.4% of the time? It would make sense that you would maybe be more aggressive. Swung on and missed. So, leadoff double followed by a strikeout. Funky start for the Yankees offense. And a rare strikeout for Westbrook. Because I think that would be interesting, especially if you're playing, if it's like, oh, we have this pitcher that we're not playing well with, if the game on the back end goes, oh, you have a high ERA, your pitcher gives up a lot of hits, we're going to turn up the swinging a little bit. Just in general. I think it turns it up depending on difficulty, which is kind of like, feels a little cheap sometimes. As Prince Fielder gets square. Blocky. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and missed. So I guess he needed to just get that double out of his system, and now he's good to go. Pitcher winds and fires, and back-to-back strikeouts. Nice pitch on the outside part of the plate gets Cabrera. Prince Fielder. I knew that was wrong. Wow. The Rams are up 31-7. Oh my goodness. The Baker Mayfield MVP case is starting to take a bit of a hit. They also have had a very difficult part of their schedule, and he still led them to a 6-4 record without some of his top weapons, but somehow the Rams feel like they are a sneaky, like, very, very good team. As that is hit up the first base side. Underhands it to the pitcher, covering, and that will do it. So, thought it was going to get funky there because of the leadoff double. Pitcher settles down, a couple of strikeouts and a ground out to end the inning. Roberts, well, I have to tell you about the lineup. I can't tell you that yet. Spoilers. Don't look at the bottom. Now you can look. Brian Roberts, the second baseman. Switch hitting second baseman to lead things off for Milwaukee. Niger Morgan in center. Jason Kubel in right. Luke Scott at first. And then you have Vernon Wells, the lone true righty. The true righty Vernon Wells in left field. Jack Cust at designated hitter. Luis Valbuena is the shortstop. David Freese at third. And Ryan Hannigan behind the dish. But 6 of those first 7 batters will be hitting from the left side of the left-handed batter's box, what I'm trying to say. Zach Miner, 1-1 with a 7.36 ERA. 3 games with 7.1 innings pitched. 12 hits, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. So kind of a similar story to what we're talking about with the Brewers pitcher, where the hits they grossly outnumber the strikeouts. And then you throw the walks on top of it, and it looks even worse because those are just additional base runners. That pitch is in for a strike. Milwaukee, more patient than New York was, takes a pitch. The first pitch. Lefty puts a charge into this one to left field. But the left fielder has it near the foul line, and that is out number 1. Righty winds and fires. That is hit out second baseman with a diving snag. And just like that, there are 2 gone for the Brewers. Jason Kubel stepping in. That one misses low for a ball. That at-bat was over so quickly. 1 pitch, 1 swing, and a diving stop. That one, oh my goodness, the second baseman is absolutely on fire right now. Perfect timing on both the leaping catch and the diving catch. Accounts for 2 of the innings, and we will head to the top of the second. Scoreless, Bay, Tejada, and Ross coming up 14 RBI. That might be the highest RBI count we have seen so far. And not like a ridiculously high home run total. 4 of them. That's a strike on the outside corner. Nice location. It's a good take. Kind of just hoping that the umpire gives you the beneficial call, but you didn't get it, so that's how it goes. So 0-1 here in the top of the second. Scoreless game number 2. That one stays well outside. That is hit to the shortstop, excuse me. He'll fire over to first, out with a couple of steps to spare. So a nice play by a couple of infielders here for Milwaukee and New York. Miguel Tejada coming in. That one's fouled away for strike 1. And that one's rolled up to the second baseman. Spins and fires. That is an out. That's a nice throw across his body. That's an interception in the NFL, and it's a horrible play, and you yell and go, why would you throw that? But in baseball, pretty good. Cody Ross, he's happy to be here, everybody. He'll step in. I appreciate that he grew a beard between when he took that photo and when they put him in the game. Or he shaved, I guess. Maybe is the better way to look at that. Foul. Up the first base line.
Here's an easy out.
That's inside for a strike. 0-2. That one stays upstairs.
Let's put him down on strike.
Here comes the 1-2. Catcher sets up inside. That one stays inside. Ross here with a couple of good takes. Didn't get too anxious, too excited. That one misses the zone completely, so it was a pretty quick 0-2 count. And it's been 3 straight balls. Gets the swing and the miss, so a little bit of an anticlimactic finish there for Yankees fans. And maybe a little unnecessary drama for Brewers fans. Scott, Wells, and Cust go Mariners. Coming up for the Brewers here in the home half of the second inning. So the pitcher for the Brewers, who comes in with a lot of hits, he has a high ERA. You go like, oh no, this isn't good. We see the stat where the Yankees have the most runs batted in baseball. You go, this is a recipe for disaster. A first pitch double. And you go, uh-oh. Even more of a, this could get bad. He has settled down incredibly well. Yet another lefty for these Brewers as they went down 1-2-3 in the top half of the first. There's only the one right-handed hitter in the first 7 at-bats, or first 7 batters for Milwaukee. Sets up low, gets the call on the inside part of the zone. Two and one. That one stayed inside. 3-1. Nice swing on that pitch to drive it into center field. That'll be a base hit to lead off the bottom of the second here for Milwaukee. One of the better 3-1 swings that we've seen. It feels like a lot of the guys swing out of their shoes trying to just absolutely nuke a home run, but nice job taking that to the opposite field. Getting on base. Here's your one righty. Be a couple more lefties. That's inside for a ball. That one, oh my goodness, did the Brewers get a brutal animation on that. The pitcher starts the double play. Right back to him, overhand to second, fires over to first. And that erases the lone hit for the Brewers. That brings in Jack Cust with a 3.33 ERA, or earned average. I would have gotten there eventually. Does have 4 RBI on the season. Can he come through with 2 outs here? The replays, to be fair, the replays always look a lot better than the in-game action, which is weird. But we've looked at a couple of replays and it's like, oh, I guess that makes a little bit more sense. There's just something about the way it looks in real time. So that probably wasn't as bad of an animation as you might think. That pitch is inside and low for a ball. Seattle Mariner playing for the former Seattle Pilots, the Milwaukee Brewers. 1 season in Seattle as the Pilots before the Mariners came in 1977. They'll be celebrating season number 50, the Mariners, in 2026. That is popped into foul territory. That's actually going to curve back into fair territory. The third baseman just waits for the ball to come to him. So, Milwaukee gets a leadoff single. It turns into a double play, and then a pop-out ends the inning. Blake, Soto, and Phillips coming up. Phillips with the smashing double to lead the game off, or to lead off the game, as we head to a scoreless third. That pitch is in and low. That pitch is low. Swung on and missed. Way to change the eye level there. That pitch absolutely would have gotten me. 1-2. Swung on and missed, so another strikeout. For a pitcher who did not have very many coming into this game. I wonder if we'd be able to look at the stats. He had 3 coming into the game. It's like 5 walks, 3 hits, and no. 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, and like 14 hits or something like that. The numbers weren't good, is the point that I'm trying to make. And he's really done a nice job to try and improve them here. As he leans and fires, that is in for a strike. That's hit well. Foul. That was up there for a while. Inside for another ball. I'd hate to compliment him and then watch him fall apart. Commentator's curse. I said another ball. It is actually just ball number 1. 1-2, 1 away. No score here in the third. That is rolled over to third. He'll take a throw at it. Long throw. And gets him in time. I don't think you need much more speed. He was out by 2 steps. 1 step and 1 lunge. Brandon Phillips is 1 for 1 with the double. He took the first pitch he saw to the right center wall. See how aggressive he is second time through. Takes that at the letters for a strike. And that pitch is low and outside. That one's rolled over, foul.
That ball's foul.
Here comes the 1-2. That's outside. That one gets a piece of it to stay alive. 2-2. And fouls that one off again. We'll see another 2-2.
No, that's foul.
And that's outside as well. Ball 3. So the exact opposite of the at-bat that he had in the first go-around was a 1-pitch double. This one he's worked the count full, including several foul balls to stay alive. And this one he'll put out towards right center. The center fielder did not move, and the right fielder I did not actually think had the angle on it, but that'll be out number 3. Valbuena, Freeze, and Hannigan coming up for Milwaukee as the Yankees have faced the minimum thanks to the double play. And Luis Valbuena is just straight, literal straight zeros. He's going to go for a bunt. It's up the third base line. He has a good run at it, and it's safe. That pitch is inside for a strike. So a nice little bunt there to get things going for the Brewers. The winning run on first. That's a good way to pick up your first hit of the year. Regardless of if it's your 30th at-bat or your 20th or your 10th or your first. That is hits. Diving shortstop can't get to it. Third baseman picks it up. Takes an extra kind of step there. Little hesitation move. It's a nice play. Should be registered as a hit, not an error at all. Because it was a well struck ball right to him. But now Hannigan with an opportunity. A 158 average, no home runs, couple RBI. That's at the knees for a strike. Batter doesn't like it. I didn't agree. It's 0-1. That is in for a strike. 0-2. Ooh, we thought about it. This is going to advance the runners 90 feet to second and third. It's a check swing, does not go around. That one is low. Winning run 90 feet away at a scoreless bottom half of the inning. 2-2. The righty winds and fires. Thought about swinging, did not, and it's a ball outside. Full count. Oh, that's a strike three call to the inside. I wasn't 100% sure what it was going to be called, and it is strike three. Brutal strike three call right there. It's only the first out of the inning. Still plenty of ways to get this run in. That'll do it. Brewers win 1-0. A single up the middle of the center does it. First pitch that he sees. And the Milwaukee Brewers, their pitcher, does a really nice job. I mean, he gave up a leadoff double and then was actually able to settle down very nicely. As we'll take a look at it, Jake Westbrook, he gets your win. 3 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. He had 5 coming into the game. And he nearly doubles that total. Only 1 hit given up and drops that ERA down to 6.75, but it was over 9 coming into the game. Westbrook improves to 2-2. Zach Minor drops to 1-2. Milwaukee picks up 4 hits, including a bunt that came around to score. They had 3 hits in the 3rd inning. And they're able to notch the 1-0 victory. So a couple of tight games here. We saw the 1-0 victory between the Braves and the team that they were playing that I can't remember, but I'm hoping I do. And then we get a walk-off win here. They were playing the White Sox. That's what it was. The White Sox beat the Braves. I didn't say that very cleanly or clearly. All right. Let's save this game season. Come on. There we go. Thank you. All right, so here we are. We are set. We're caught up through there. Orioles over the Marlins 1-0, as we see so far 4 for 4 on the shutouts. That'll continue. Cubs over the Royals. And then the Brewers beat the Yankees. So every game has been a shutout. Will that continue? Let's find out as we are heading down to Reds taking on the Angels. There was a 6-5 in there, so not every game will be a shutout today. Sorry to disappoint you. I don't know if you were disappointed. The Reds, they have only had 6 games at home. They've had 14 games on the road. I almost said that they only had 3 games at home, but they've only had 3 wins at home. Oops. 3-3 at home, 7-7 on the road. The Angels a little bit more balanced. 11 games at home, 9 games on the road. That's a little more what you'd like to see. So hopefully the game makes it balanced. I don't know that it really matters in this. But we're heading out to Los Angeles, the West Coast. Cincinnati and Los Angeles, both teams 10 and 10. Oh, we can skip this. I keep forgetting. Grady Sizemore is going to get things led off in center field. Jeff Keppinger at shortstop. Nelson Rad Cruz in right fielder. Ty Wigington at first. Michael Young at third. Logan Morrison in left. Christian Guzman at second. JP Arancibia. The catcher, Ian Starlin Castro. Arancibia. Starlin Castro is your designated hitter. I sure love YouTube stats. Cliff Lee, 2-2 with a 7.59 ERA, 10.2 innings in 4 games, 10-5 and 12 on the strikeouts. That's a little more what you'd like to see. Doesn't necessarily have to be a 1-for-1 hits to strikeouts sort of ratio, but you'd like it a little bit closer. Grady Sizemore going to lead things off, lefty versus lefty. As Cliff Lee gets things underway with a swinging strike to make it 0-1. Game number 3 of our quadruple header. We'll wrap it up with the Mariners and Cardinals. Even though that game would have taken place before this game, because it's your user game, it is always at the end of the day. Because, oh my goodness, that one is thrown into the dugout. So a bad start for the Reds. He double tapped it and everything had time to settle himself down a little bit, but he eats it into the dugout, and that's going to advance the runner to second. So Keppinger comes up, or the Angels, excuse me. God dang it, 2 red teams. Frickin' frick. I forgot where we were. It's a bad start for the Angels as that is thrown into the dugout. Good start for the Reds. As he takes a ball low. Runner in scoring position. But I was going to say, because the user games, we always control the Mariners in MLB The Show. The one time that we've had a different team was in a ESPN 2K5. So we always have, like, it makes sense for our games to be late. But if you were like, oh, we control the Yankees, and it's always the final game, but it's like a 1 p.m. start, it's like, oh, that's odd. Shortstop records the out, and that's 1 away, following what should have been out number 1, but couldn't do anything to get that out. Nelson Rad Cruz stepping in. Take a look at his stats there. The lefty nods in approval and fires that one in for a hit ball. It was in for a strike. The right fielder with a big strong arm gets it to the catcher. Oh, the runner retreated to third. I did not realize that. It was hit pretty quickly out to right field. And I thought he was going to come around with no question, but yeah, he turned pretty early to turn back around. The throw, I mean, he actually likely would have been okay to be safe. We do see the catchers and the base coverers for a good majority of it come back with a lot of dives, as that one is going to be popped out to left center field. He'll make the catch on the run. It'll be an easy 1-0 lead for the Reds. So the error comes around to bite the Angels in the behind. 1-0 your score here. Cincinnati strikes first. We have that quite a bit in the show where it's like, man, if I had sent him, probably would have gotten there because of the errant throw or the throw up the line or whatever. But you never know. Better to be safe than sorry, especially if you can drive it a run that easily. Why not? There's a strike inside. That pitch. A pitch out? Question mark? Or I don't know. That one rolls foul. That gets away from the catcher. That'll be an easy take of second base. So the Angels giving up an extra 90 feet twice here in this first inning. And it's a runner in scoring position. 2-2 count with 2 away. Swung on and missed. Look kind of late on that one. Nice pitch by Cliff Lee to get the out. 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 error in the inning. Maben, McGee, and Gonzalez stepping up for the Angels. I forgot that we haven't looked at their lineup. Cameron Maben in center field today will lead things off, followed by Casey McGee at third. Adrian Gonzalez at first. Jim Tomei, designated hitter. Ryan Ludwig in left. John Buck at center. Catcher. Jeez Louise, Sean. Ben Zobrist in right field. Felipe Lopez at shortstop. Ryan Roberts, second base. Justin DeSchurer. I didn't even get that at all. Doesn't help that I was looking at my phone. I acknowledge. He is 2-2 with 6.55 ERA. 4 games with 11 innings pitched, 14 hits, 6 walks, 8 strikeouts. As we get set here for the bottom half of the first inning. That's a pitch outside for a ball. That is hit up the third base line. Flung over to first, and that will be an out. Reds defense showing them how it's done. Actually getting a productive first out at a game. Who would have thought? Casey McGee has a home run and 3 RBI with a .265 average. The righty fires in for a strike. Called strike. That is in for a strike as well. Looked like it might be a touch outside, but the umpire gives them the call, and it's quickly 0-2 here with just 1 out. Pitcher shakes his head no. Fires the pitch that's fouled away. Stayed with that outside pitch. The Angels batter able to get to it and stay alive. See if he wants to go inside here. Looks like he's going to stay outside. That one's way outside. 1-2 now. The righty sets and winds. Here comes the pitch. It's inside, so maybe not getting a little too cute here. First 2 pitches were the best of the at-bat. Angels did a good job to stay alive, and now a good eye to look at 2 balls to even things up. 2-2 with 1 away. That one's foul. Misses inside. This is really good by the Angels batter. I shouldn't be too irritated, but it can get kind of frustrating when we watch these pitchers just get a little too cute. But it's good patience to work this count full. Here's a payoff pitch. It is foul. That one will be rolled over to the third base side. That'll be another out. So, hey, a good job to work that full. Put it, at least keep it fair. Force some action back there. Adrian Gonzalez will step in with a trio of home runs this season. Maybe 3 3-run shots. 3 home runs, 9 ribbies. He'll come in with 2 away against the right-handed pitcher. That stays outside for a ball. That's inside for a ball. Ooh, big swing and a miss. Fouled away. Two and two on its way. That one's well outside. So if they can get this pitcher to throw a bunch of pitches in an inning, he'll let you back into the counts. It's 3 and 2. Payoff pitch. Hit well, but foul.
That ball's foul.
Oof, and there is a no-doubter. The payoff pitch is absolutely annihilated into right field. That'll tie the game up here for the Angels with 2 gone. Excellent swing there by Gonzalez. 390 majestic feet to right field. Jim Thome stepping in. Now a 1-1 game here in the bottom of the first inning. That's outside for a ball. That's outside. Oof. 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 I don't think that was a strike. That did not look close at all. Maybe if we were dead on from behind the pitcher, but goodness gracious. Here comes the 2-1. That'll be hit foul up the third base line. Two and two. That one stays high for a ball. So another full count. This is the third full count we've seen of this inning. Big swing and a miss there. Probably liked what he saw in that last at-bat, a payoff pitch that got absolutely demolished. But, I mean, if you take away that Los Angeles Angels error, they have the solo home run for the lead. Instead, they do have the error. It comes around to score. It's a 1-1 game. As Morrison will lead off here for the Reds. That is launched to right center. That'll get all the way down to the wall. Bounces back toward the cut of the grass that meets the warning track. And a leadoff double for Cincinnati puts them in business. They've had a runner on second with nobody out in both innings now. One of them via a hit, the other via an error. Guzman will step in. Opportunity to get that lead right back. He will not do it on that pitch as that is foul up the first base line, 0-1. That one misses low, inside, both. It's a ball, 1-1. Cliff Lee here on the mound for the Angels. That is hit well. It's going to advance the runner to third. Shortstop with a nice throw over to first for the out. So at least a productive out for the Reds. Aaron Sebia steps in. He has a bunch of different options to try and get this runner home. Facing the lefty. He'll put it right up the middle. The defense was playing tight. And that means that he was able to get that just past the shortstop, who was playing to throw towards home. If he's in normal depth, I think he can keep the runner at third and still get the out. But that trickles out into center field, and Cincinnati does a good job to get right back in front. 2-1 now. Starlin Castro stepping in. 360 average. Top of the second. That's a strike at the knees. That'll be launched into center field. Another single, so back-to-back singles for the Reds here off of Cliff Lee. That'll put a runner in scoring position. It looks like Lee wants kind of like a big sweeping curveball or changeup that starts kind of middle high and then just drops, but it's just not dropping the way that he thinks it's going to. Now it's a lefty-lefty matchup with one away. This is going to get belted out to right field. Right fielder is on it. Takes a couple of steps further back. It'll advance the runner to third. So both outs have been productive for the Reds. A ground out advanced the runner to third, and then a fly out advanced the runner to third. Thought maybe he got a little bit more on it, but didn't really even get to the warning track. Two away with two on. That'll be foul. Just foul. Oh my goodness. That's a strike inside. Oh and 2. 2 on, 2 away. A 2-1 lead here for Cincinnati, looking to add on. That one is fouled away to stay alive.
Next foul.
That pitch misses low. Hit well, but foul. That one's outside. That should, I believe that'll fill up the count. It does not. It's 2-2. 2-2 at the top of the second with 2 out and 2 on. He did not go. Unnecessary dramatics from the first baseman as we saw kind of that weird, funky hack thing that they're able to hold back. That makes it a full count. Here's a payoff pitch coming from Lee. That'll be knocked into center field. They'll send the runner around second to third. It is now 3-1 Cincinnati. And the payoff pitches, we've seen 2 runs scored via the payoff pitch. Obviously one of them a nuke shot to right, but Nelson Cruz has a single on the day. Steps up with runners on first and third. I think that's a little bit more what Cliff Lee is looking for in that big movement pitch that drops low, catches that outside part of the zone. He's left a few too many of them kind of just over the heart of the plate or just a little too much plate. Cruz fouls that one back. Swung on and missed. It went back to that outside corner location. Cruz had to defend it. He swings and misses. The Cincinnati Reds do score 2. They push the lead to 3-1, answering back the solo home run in the bottom of the first. So this one's been a high-scoring game so far. I think it was the St. Louis Cardinals that absolutely took the Reds to the woodshed in one inning. It was like a 10-run inning or whatever it was. We'll see if this Reds pitcher can settle down. He actually looked pretty okay through the first couple batters. The problem is he issued, I think, 3, maybe 4 straight full counts and didn't start off well there with a 1-0. That's in for a strike. It's going to be, we're going to compliment the patience of the Angels here. This is a pitcher who has shown early in this game that he'll let you into the count. There's back-to-back strikes, which feels like a bit of a rarity in this one so far. No offense meant towards the pitcher, but sometimes things are just what they are. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Beautiful pitch right there for the strikeout. Now, he did get the first 2 batters set down, including that full count. The full count was to the second, third, and fourth batter at least, so 3 in a row. But he was able to set those first couple batters down relatively easily. Just gave up the long shot on the payoff pitch. That one's outside, ball 1. That's a pitch in the zone for a strike right at the knees. Oof. Oof. That's what we've seen Cliff Lee doing. It's the underhand toss to the pitcher covering, but that is a curveball or a changeup. Whatever pitch it was bad. It was left over the heart of the plate. Lucky that it was an out rather than absolutely nuked to a part of the field. Giving one of those runs back quickly. Ben Zobrist steps in with 2 away. This was where, the Angels scored their first run with 2 gone. That's a swing and a miss. Oh and 1. Shakes the catcher off. Fires that one low. That is in for a strike. Just gets the inside portion. That's foul up the first base line. Took a funky hop. Hit up, hit off the tarp, and then spun into the crowd. Misses low. This is where the Angels really need to dial it in. His longer at bats. He'll give you the full count. 2 and 2 with 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. Nobody on. Here's a swing and a miss and a pitch on the inside. And that will retire the side. So, Wigington, Young, and Morrison will look to add a little more for the Cincinnati Reds as we head to the top of the third. We're heading to St. Louis after this, by the way. One more game, Mariners, Cardinals coming up for you. We'll have 4 more games tomorrow. 4 more games on Tuesday. I believe Tuesday is the other day where things are kind of weird, where we're just going to have the 4 games that exist in game. That's popped into foul territory, first base side. First baseman takes a look at it with plenty of room to work with. Catches it just outside the camera well. Yeah, Tuesday will be a day where there's only 4 games. So if we get teams back to back, that's just how it goes. Which isn't the worst thing in the world. It can be, I'm sure, a little annoying or whatever, but whatever. That pitch is fouled. And the best news is we don't have to worry about the Atlanta Braves pitcher, whose name I will take down and make sure we don't have to watch him anymore, because that is awful. The fact that that's foul. Every pitch he throws is adding 10 seconds of runtime onto the game. It's like, oh god, that's terrible. That'll be hit up to the shortstop. He'll fire over to first in time for the out. Logan Morrison steps in quickly 2 away here for the Reds. The pop out to foul territory and the ground out. Really speeding the top of this third inning along, but they're still working with a 2-run lead, so obviously any insurance run would be big. We saw that really come in handy for the Giants the other day. That one misses for a ball. Lefty winds and fires. That's low. Here comes the 2-0. One's rolled over. Third baseman comes over, looking to fire over to first. And that'll be an out. So, hey, that's the kind of inning you need from your pitcher in this situation. You're going to the bottom of the third. Lopez, Roberts, and Maben coming up. You only have the 1 hit. You're still down just 2. So a bloop and a blast ties this game. If you can get a runner on, you can get a walk, you can get a hit. And try and bring up Gonzalez, who already has the home run in today's game. And this is a pitcher that's let you have long at-bats. You're getting a lot of looks at the pitches. That pitch sails inside, ball 1. Ooh, man. It's a nice pitch just because the speed was so different. That is a dangerous pitch, though. If he can stay back on that, he might be able to drive it a long way. But as it is, it's a strike. 1-1. Thought about swinging, did not go. 2-1. He tried to go to the outside part of the plate. Good job by the batter to just go out there and get that pitch. Nice dive by the second baseman. But that'll be a single to start off the bottom of the 3rd. Ryan Roberts. 36 games. Must think his stats are from last year, I guess. Like, we've only had 22 days. There's been one team that's had like a day off. That one misses low. Here comes the 1-0. Nobody out. 1 on. That's in for a strike. Just gets that inside part of the zone. The zone, not the zone. Ready, looked like he waved off his catcher. Now he's ready to fire, and this one's going to be popped to the shortstop. No infield fly rule. Just your old-fashioned classic out. That'll bring in Cameron Maben, 0 for 1 today. That's a nice pitch in for a strike. Maben takes a pitch low. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 on, 1 out. Down by 2. That is in for a strike. Oof. Just got the inside part of that. Ooh, and just rolls over it, foul. Actually, maybe got under it, but the way that that spun, hit and just kind of dipped the other way. That's outside. Two and 2. That is hit out towards right center. Right fielder with a good beat on it. Makes a nice grab and the runner retreats. So the Reds not quite out of it, but in a good position with 2 out. Nelson Rad Cruz with the put out in right field. Casey McGee is going to step in. He's 0 for 1. 257. If he can get on base, The man responsible for the lone run in this game for the Angels is coming up. Adrian Gonzalez. He's really working that inside part of the zone, and he's getting the calls. Oops. Didn't need the calculator. Thank you, though. Swung on and missed. Oh, did Baker Mayfield get injured? That pitch is inside. Here comes the 1-2. Down to their final strike. They're going to get a hit. Puts it into right field. The runner is going to stay at second. And it's a good thing that he did. That's a strong throw on a ball that didn't get super deep. But McGee puts one in play. Adrian Gonzalez, 1 for 1 with a solo home run. The Reds need 1 out. They were down to the final strike. Couldn't get it, and here we are. Gonzalez, who was responsible for the 1 run in the game, takes the pitch. He's going to dump that in to left field. They are going to send the runner around. Left fielder throws. It is in, and it is out at the plate. It's game. It's over. They go for the contact. The catcher does a great job to hold on to it. Umpire with the call. Part of the game that I keep forgetting is a thing that happens. The Angels lose in a bizarre way trying to beat the catcher. It was a great throw from left field. He was out by 4 or 5 steps. But an aggressive attempt at trying to break him away from the ball. Cincinnati 3, Los Angeles 1. Player of the game is Justin. I keep calling him Dustin. Dashire. He 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts on the day. He improves to 3-2. Cliff Lee falls to 2-3. Gonzalez with his 4th home run of the season. And that will do it. Dashire? Dashire? All right, we have 1 game left here on the docket. It is the Mariners taking on the Cardinals. So we will get set for that. Oops. Gotta stop doing that. Let's see. So we had 6 games in a row where they were shutouts. That continued as the Blue Jays won 2-0 over the Diamondbacks. And then the Red Sox, those dastardly Red Sox ruined it by losing 4-1 to the Rockies, who improved to 15-7 on the season. The Twins and the Phillies played a competitive game. It's a 6-5 victory for the Phillies over the Twins. Rangers beat the Nationals 3-1. Astros over the Guardians 1-0, and we watched the Reds win 3-1 over the Angels. We are going Mariners, Cardinals. And we'll make sure that we're not playing the game. Rankings and strikeouts. New York Mets up top at 66. Not 100% sure what that stat is tracking, though, if I'm being honest. Let's change that. As we head to St. Louis. Mariners have started pretty well, but they lost the series 3-1 to the Royals. Cardinals come into this series 10-10. For Seattle, it'll be Brett Gardner, left fielder, leading off. Kurt Suzuki behind him. He's catching. Ichiro in right. Amaris Ramirez at third base. Travis Hafner at first. Brett Wallace at DH. Reed Brignac. I always put an extra vowel in there. He's the shortstop. Ian Kinsler at second. Milky Cabrera, the center fielder. They have that little lefty lane. Hafner, Wallace, and Brignac. Chad Billingsley, 4-0 with a 1.54 ERA, 4 games, 11.2 innings pitched, 9, 6, and 11 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Last time we saw a pitcher against the Mariners that had an ERA that looked like that, it was a 0 ERA, granted, a little bit different. And they really struggled. That game went extras against the Royals. Gardner takes a strike. And we are underway. Game 4 of 4 today. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate it. If you're hanging out in the chat. If you're watching this later as a VOD. That pitch is low for a ball. The righty fires that in for a strike. Here comes another pitch. Swung on and missed. So Gardner set down on strikes to start things off. He feels like an important piece for the Mariners from what we've seen, which we've seen a good chunk of Mariners games, but the game against Detroit is the one that sticks in my mind, where he had a couple of steals. I think he had 3 steals in that game. Was an integral part to it. If he can get on, and Suzuki can try and drive him in, as that one is foul. But if he can get on and swipe a bag, put himself in a scoring position, and then you have Suzuki and Ichiro following, it's a good offensive plan. But if he can't get on, then feels like it starts kind of funky and it can get a little difficult. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That is a ball. Stayed high. Suzuki fires that one foul. That one stays outside. Good take. So it is a full count. Here's the payoff pitch with 1 away. He will put this out into left field, and the left fielder puts it away for out number 2. And we'll bring up Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro has a home run, 3 RBI, and a couple of stolen bases on the season. That pitch is inside. Ball 1. That'll be hit well out to left field. Diving for the catch. He makes it. Steals a hit away from Ichiro. And that will retire the side. 1-2-3. There's the dastardly Chipper Jones batting second. Dominic Brown is your designated hitter. Chipper Jones over at third. He's a switch hitter. He ruined one of my games that I was playing in many seasons. Hanley Ramirez and Manley Ramirez, shortstop and left fielder, respectively. Tyler Colvin in right, Aaron Hill. At second, Alex Rios in center, David Ross at center, catcher. Frick, I did it again. Troy Glaus at first. I was trying to figure out as we get the stats here for the right-hander Trevor Cahill. 2-2, 5.56 ERA, 4 games, 11.1 innings, 11 hits. I was trying to figure out, because it said Teddy Bridgewater, for the Buccaneers. "13 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts for Cahill. But now you're getting a report that the Raiders have fired Chip Kelly as an offensive coordinator. Rangers trading Simeon to the Mets for Nimmo. Wild. Okay, yeah. Brooks Mayfield rolled out with a shoulder injury as that is knocked foul. Clearly in a lot of pain in the left shoulder. They're not going to show the play. Nope, they will show the play. Going for a Hail Mary. Oh. He, landed. Whoa. That is a weird... That is... You don't often see non-contact injuries for football guys. Or for quarterbacks. Especially the shoulder. That is wild. 0-2 here. This one is going to be popped out. Who's going to get it? The shortstop going a long way. Now it's the first baseman waving everybody off. Either way, it's out number 1 no matter what way you slice it. Chipper Jones steps in. 333 average. That one's fouled away. Foul. The righty winds and fires. Jones takes that in for a strike. 0-2. Chipper Jones, I believe he had an absolute moonshot in the mini-season. That we're doing in MLB The Show 25. Wednesdays and Saturdays, a called strike 3 at the knees. That'll sit him down. Going to be interesting to see. They do not give us the location tracker. But that is strike 3. Chipper Jones will sit down. Hanley Ramirez steps in. That's a really nice looking average. 400 on the dot. As the righty is ready and fires. That one misses low for a ball. Chipper Jones probably not thrilled with that call, considering what he just got called out on. So, plug your ears if you have little ones near you. We'll get to lip reading later. That one's high for a ball. (2-0) with 2 outs. No score here. Bottom first. That's a strike for Cahill. Righty winds and fires. That one's low. Looks like he's trying to go back and get that call that he got against Chipper Jones, but the umpires tighten things up a little bit down there at the bottom of the zone. That'll make it 3-1. That is ball 4. So the 400 average will stay perfectly intact as this ball is just inside. Great eye from Ramirez with the 3-1 count. Sometimes you see guys swinging out of their shoes. Actually, that's what you see a lot, but here's Manny Ramirez, most famously playing for the Tampa Bay Rays, as we all know and love him. Two gone as he takes a ball high. 1-0. Oh, they're putting down the steal. He has it by a large margin. No chance on that excellent jump and terrific speed. So the walk really hurtful for the Mariners there. As Ramirez, it dribbles over to third. The throw over to first is clean, and that will do it. So Ramirez, Hafner, and Wallace. Third straight Ramirez to come to the plate. Ramirez and Ramirez and Ramirez, if they were all on the same team. 194 average, 3 RBI for him this season. That is a ball. That pitch misses low. So behind 2-0. That misses 3-0. So this has got to be a hands-off controller. I'm not even playing, but hands-off controller. Let it come in. Try to get a walk here. Umpire does like to widen the zone up on a 3-0 count. That was a pretty good pitch. That looked like it was in. Does Tampa have no faith in the kicker tonight? 2 drives into the red zone. Both times they turned it over on downs instead of going for the field goal. Yeesh. I mean, probably not, unless they were down by such a margin that it didn't matter. I am a big believer in take the points you could get, though. That is hit out to center field, and that'll be an out. I guess for me the factors would be how far down are you, and then what's the distance on the 4th down. 4th and 1, okay, I kind of get it. 4th and anything more than like 4, absolutely not. Just take the points. Unless you're down 8, in which case, I know, but then just take the points. I don't know. It's so annoying. Just take the 3. It's not that hard. Looked like 3 TDs, 31-7. Yeesh. I mean, you got to take one of the field goals to make it an even 21. Because needing 24 points is stupid. Because that counts on you making 3 2-point conversions. You're not going to do that. You're maybe going to get 1. Green Bay did this season where they were down 7 and they went for it on 4th down instead of trying the field goal to cut it to 4. So that instead of when they scored the touchdown to put them ahead, they scored the touchdown and it tied it, and then they gave up a game-winning field goal instead of a game-tying field goal. Thought about swinging, and he didn't go. Not a lot of missed check swings in this game. Here comes the 1-0. 2 gone here in the top of the top of the second, for Seattle. And that is out to center. So the Mariners retired in order. The Cardinals will come up in the bottom of the second, the 5, 6, 7 hitters. From the yard lines, it looked like they had roughly an extra point or closer. I don't know, take the points, get a little momentum. That sails outside. At least one of them, just to make it a 21-point game. You cannot count on making 3 2-point conversions. That is a hit up the third base line. But our first hit of the day? I believe it is, because I think the Cardinals had a walk in the... Yeah, the Cardinals had a walk in the first. And the Mariners have been set down in order both times. Third baseman dives maybe a touch late. Don't know that he was going to get there. But that'll bring in Aaron Hill. Batting .273, a couple of home runs, 3 RBI. That's inside. Hopefully Baker Mayfield's all right. Oh, they're putting the run on. It's going to be fouled away. Okay, a couple of guys went to take a look at it. I lost track of where it went out of the screen. They'll check on the runner. Probably pretty smart to do there. The pickoff move is unsuccessful, as he is back in there safe. That one misses for a ball. And that is hit to the shortstop, underhand to second, fires over to first, and that is a double play. So the Cardinals get a hit, and it is erased with the very next batter, Alex Rios, who I might have called Alex Ross earlier in this video. I apologize. He'll step in with 2 out and nobody on. That is just outside for a ball. Yeah, that game is over. That is hit well just past the diving shortstop. That'll put a runner on first, so a single into center. And the Cardinals still have life here in the bottom of the second. This would be the ultimate time to score a run. 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. And then forcing Seattle, who hasn't been able to do anything, to try and pick up a run in the top half of the final inning. David Ross is the catcher. He's a .200 average. The Raiders made Kelly the NFL's highest paid coordinator in February. Gross. That's outside. Las Vegas. Oh, wow, I didn't realize Chip Kelly was 61. They entered the season with high expectations. Well, I mean, I guess. That is hit out to center. Center fielder is chasing. It is going. It is off the wall, and he can't get it. He can't corral it. That is a really long double. Puts a great swing onto that one. I thought it might have been gone. It's off the wall. Takes him a minute to figure it out. And the 2-out, 1-run double gives the Cardinals the lead here in the bottom of the second. Just what I was saying. I jinxed the team that I like the most. 1-0 St. Louis. That is inside for a ball. That is... and misses for a ball. Looks like that outside part of the zone is a little bit tight here. Left-handed batter's box part of the zone, I should say. 2-0. one gets the inside for a strike, makes it 2-1. And that is rolled to first base. The first baseman can't get it cleanly. He does fire it over in time. They play the wah 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 sound effect, but still an out. 3 hits for St. Louis and 3 hits for St. Louis. They score 1 and take a late lead. Reed Brignac is going to lead things off. Seattle down 1-0. Not sure what happened with that center fielder because it looked like it was a catch or it could have been a catch. But it got a little weird out there at the wall. Righty fires and Brignac fouls that one away. 1-1. Ooh, rolls that one right up the middle. That's where that animation can look so funky, as it looks like it went right between that. Throw got a little wild. Looked like it went right between the legs of the pitcher, but we saw one earlier where it was a pretty similar play, but the pitcher got it and started a double play. I don't know. Ian Kinsler steps in. He will line this one out to right center field. We'll see how aggressive they want to be with Brignac. He is going around third to tie this game. He's hustling in. The cutoff throw is late and up the line. Safe at home. So the Mariners with back-to-back hits score a run and tie things up. Milky Cabrera coming in now. Nobody out. A runner in scoring position. Can take a lead. And does a good job to look at that one inside. Ball 1. That is fouled away. Cabrera takes that pitch outside for a ball. The righty fires. That is hit well foul. Ooh, Cabrera's going to punch that into left field. They are going to send him around. Oh, nope, they'll back him up to third. The throw's pretty far up the line, but I don't know that he had a good enough run at it to get there. Like I was saying, we saw this earlier in one of the games where the base coverers do a really good job diving at and trying to get those outs. So even though that throw was a little bit up the line, it wasn't deep enough and it was a good throw from left field. It's a smart move for the runner to turn back at third. Runners at the corners for Brett Gardner, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. He'll take a pitch inside. I mean, if you're Seattle, you probably, well, if you're St. Louis, you're probably playing really close. Because if you're Seattle, you probably take 2 runs, 2 outs for 1 run, foul just up the third base. Or just foul at the third base line, I should say. That one's hit into the left field stands. Or third base side. He's safe, but boy, it looked like he was a little bit late trying to get back. One and 2 to Gardner. Ooh, I thought that was going to be a strike call. Strike 3 call, I should say. That one's inside. It's going to get all the way. Oh, they're going to send the runner home. He didn't even throw it. Oh, my goodness. Did anyone cover? What happened there? He didn't even throw the ball. It's a full count now, as we'll take a look at the replay. So the throw is in the dirt. It gets away. The pitcher covers, but the catcher never threw it. Oh my goodness, he has it right there. Turn and fire. You have a shot. That is wild. Wow. So Seattle takes a 2-1 lead on that play. There is still nobody out. That was a pitch that filled the count. Gardner looks at a payoff. He hits this one kind of funkily into left. The left fielder made a real long, real nice run at it. They finally record their first out. Couple of hits and a wild pitch. Help score some runs. Whew. Kurt Suzuki stepping in. A runner on second. Looking for a little insurance before heading to the bottom of the third. Ichiro has an at-bat coming up as well. He is going to put a drive into this one. It is going. It is off the wall. Or off the fence out there. It'll be a stand-up double for Suzuki. Okay, that was unnecessarily close. Stand-up double for Suzuki. That'll score a run. A couple of times now we've seen the Mariners put some late runs together. And that'll bring up Ichiro. 0 for 1 today. Diving catch in left field took away a hit from Ichiro in the first inning. Ichiro is going to put that to shortstop. And that'll be out number 2. A productive out, but I think you'd like to see a little bit more from Ichiro. Now 0-2 on the day. 0-4-2, I should say. That pitch is in for a strike. Mariners now with 2 away. A runner on third. Unbelievable way that they took the lead in this one. Whew. Ooh, oh, they get it through. I can't believe it. We're going to look at that replay. We had one back in Florida. I thought that was an out. Oh, boy. Let's take a look at the replay here. We're going toward the shortstop. No way. No way did the game do this again. It goes right through the glove. What? And I mean, it's through. It's a little bit tricky because we can't elevate. Oh, we can elevate like this. Oh my goodness. So the Mariners, maybe the most bizarre half inning of baseball that we've seen so far this season. Whew. They score where the catcher doesn't even throw back to the pitcher, and they get an extra run as the ball goes right through the hand. That's a catch. That's an out. It's a perfectly timed jump, and the game just said, nah, not today. Wow. So top 3, that is going to be lined out to center. He's not going to get to it. What is happening? This inning should be over like twice now. That is a foul at the third base line. Now, to be fair, the Mariners did have a funky play out in center as well. Kind of toward that same part of the ballpark, so I guess it's not totally unreasonable, but I think when you look at that play with what happened immediately before it, you start to just go like, huh? Game, what are you doing? That is a no-doubter. What? It's a no-doubter right down the foul line. In an inning that should be over, they score an extra 3 runs. 389 majestic feet out to right field. Just stays inside the fair pole. They will finally, mercifully go to the bullpen. 9 games for Rauch. 0-1. 2 saves, a 5.79 ERA. 4.2 innings pitched, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. An unreal top of the third. And that'll bring Brignac up. It is 7-1. Now, Seattle should still be in the in the driver's seat here in this game, just not at this level. That is foul. So it'd be what? Is it three extra runs, 4 extra runs? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the game has something special in store for us in the bottom half. I did call out the fact earlier, I know the PlayStation 2 is listening, I did call out the fact earlier that St. Louis has the highest number of runs scored in an inning. Or the second highest. I have it written down. Yeah, it was the Cardinals scored 13 against the Reds as they finally, mercifully get out of it. And the Padres had scored 7 the day before. An unreal inning right there comes to a close. 7-1 Seattle. They did not have a hit before they got there into that third inning, and they knock out 7 of them. Dominic Brown's going to lead things off here in the bottom half of the third, down 6. Pops this one out into left field. There is a very quick out, number 1. Gardner out there in left field. Chipper Jones is 0-for-1 with a strikeout today. He steps in with 1 away and nobody on. Nice strike call on the outside. 0-1. One of the more brutal strike 3 calls we've seen all season went to Chipper Jones in his first at-bat. He tries to go attack that spot of the zone again. Successful at the knees again. It's 0-2. That one misses for a ball. Swung on and missed, so Chipper Jones down again on strikes. 0-for-2, 2 strikeouts. And that will bring up the last chance for the Cardinals. Hanley Ramirez did work a walk in his first at-bat and had a stolen base. They were unable to do anything with it, but not a guy you really want to put on and start giving them a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of momentum. That is another low strike call. Umpire apparently has somewhere to be. We got to go, everybody. Everything's a strike. Here comes the 0-1. That one rolled over to second base. Fires over to first, and that is an out. So the extra runs just make the deficit look a little bit funky, but does not end up mattering as the Mariners take care of the Cardinals in the bottom half of the third. 1, 2, 3. 7-1 your final. A very funky top of the third inning for the Mariners. And they will they'll win this one big. Big with an asterisk. Brett Wallace was your player of the game. 1 for 2 with a home run. He knocked in 2 on that shot. Trevor Cahill. He improves to 3-2. Chad Billingsley, his first loss of the season. He falls to 4-1. Wallace with his third home run of the season. And St. Louis had nothing. Well, that'll do it. That is your 4 games of the day. We ended in funky fashion with the Mariners and the Cardinals, but hopefully you enjoyed nevertheless. We'll get you caught up on a couple of scores, and then we'll send you on you find folks on your way. Thanks for hanging out for however long you did. I appreciate it. I popped up the wrong thing. Let's go view today's games. We have caught up on all of these to here. The Mets beat the Athletics 3-0. And the Giants over the Padres. Giants now at 10-11. They've climbed their way almost all the way back to 500. They win 6-5. And we saw the Mariners 7-1 winners over the Cardinals. So could make that NL West kind of interesting. I think with how with how well the Rockies are playing, they might be playing for more of a wild card spot, in which they are only a game and a half back. So there you go. That'll do it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let's actually we'll go to the schedule. We'll go sim to date, and we'll have fresh batch action. This is the day, the 26th on Tuesday. This is the day that only has 4 games, so we'll have a couple of double ups, I think, but that's fine. Let's save it, because that's always the best way to end a stream, is with absolute dead silence and no progress. Save the season, overwrite it, press square to confirm, and I'll thank you all so much for watching. Thank you again so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Streamed a couple of times today, so if you'd like more from me, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I post new videos. Played Demon School earlier today. We'll be back tomorrow with more MLB 11, the show. We'll be back on Tuesday with even more of it. And more content throughout the week. So be sure to check all that out if you are interested in it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Save complete. Good night, everybody.